What up, everybody? It's your boy PTK Blam here, back with another episode of the Shop Podcast on this beautiful Saturday evening. Thank you, everybody, for coming and joining us. Thank you for everybody for coming out, loving the podcast. I got a great group of on the panel here, like I always do every Saturday. First, I want to start off just by saying I'm truly humbled, and I truly thank everybody for coming to subscribe to the channel to make that big push to 1,000 subs. I am almost there. I think I'm less than 40 subs away from hitting 1,000. So I want to congratulate the entire Xbox community. Thank you guys for just loving the content, coming to subscribe. Just thank you. It humbles me so much to see that you guys enjoy what I'm doing. Huge shout out to Black Tiger for what you did, man. I appreciate it. It was kind of unexpected, man, but I thank you so much for that, man. But we're gonna go ahead and start the show. But I'm gonna go around the panel and let these awesome gamers, let you know, let everybody know where they can find them and just introduce themselves like I always do here on the Shop Podcast. By the way, before we do that, the chat will be live, so put your questions in at the end, so that way I can go ahead and ask those to the panel. We can go ahead and get it popping. So we'll go ahead and start with the lady of the hour, Miss She-Wolf. Go ahead and introduce yourself, love.
Hello, of course, it's She-Wolf. You can find me on Twitter and all that fun stuff. Just kind of here hanging out with everybody as usual. Always love being here on the Shop Podcast. So, yep.
Awesome. Glad to have you. I know it's been a couple weeks. You were busy last week, I think. So, yeah, awesome. Glad to have you. Love having you on She-Wolf all the time. Like family. And go ahead and go with the governor. He doesn't really need an introduction, but I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself anyway, brother.
Well, thanks, man. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's GKB, a.k.a. the governor. Always great to be on the Shop Podcast. We talk awesome topics, something different than everybody else does. So that's really why I enjoy coming every week and hanging out with my brother Blam. So
appreciate it, man. All love, man. These two, She-Wolf, GKB, they're my backbone. They're like family, man. So I appreciate them so much. And then to our newest, I don't even want to call him a guest anymore. He's been on the last few weeks, man. My man Jarhead, one of the funniest guys on Twitter. If you like video games, you like people that's gonna make you laugh, man. In the same breath, Jarhead is a guy to follow on Twitter. But go ahead and introduce yourself, Jar.
Hey guys, Jarhead here, 2001. I'm always on Twitter. I'm the guy that retweets everything. So, and a few gifts here and there, just always honored, man, to be invited. Like, seriously, really appreciate it.
No problem, man. We're gonna work something out, Jar. I got you, man. No problem. So let's go ahead and dive into the show, man. We got a lot to talk about. Once again, I just want to say I'm thankful and humbled, by the response for the channel recently, and you guys always come out and show support and love on Saturday, So let's go ahead and dive into the topic. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, most of us here, actually all of us here on the panel, are part or we're really in on the Xbox community on Twitter. And there's been a lot of back and forth about, since PSX about Xbox One's variety, quote unquote variety, or lack of variety, some people would say. And I kind of wanted to pose this question to the panel. Does Xbox need more variety? Now, you can look at it at one point and say, well, no, because there's a plethora of games coming out already. There's a plethora of games going to be coming out in 2017. And there's a lot to do. There's a lot to play, a lot of different types of games. So, or you can look at it on the other hand and say, well, you know what, there isn't much variety. We get the same franchises over. There's no JRPGs, Japanese games, yada, yada, yada. So I want to go ahead and pose that question to you, GKB. What do you think about Xbox? Does it need more variety, or you think they're fine, where they're at?
Me personally, man, I think they're fine where they're at. I think, and I'm probably gonna get a little hate for this, but I think the ones that are like asking for all this variety really ain't playing the games, or not even on the console, honestly. I don't know what else like Microsoft or Phil Spencer, has to do at Xbox to give you more variety. They literally are giving you new IPs that haven't been done before, like Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break, Recore, and the ones next year we're getting Sea of Thieves, Scalebound, all that kind of stuff. So I really don't know where this is coming from. Again, I think JRPGs are in a niche market these days. They're not really, I don't know, that huge like they were like back in the 80s with like Chrono Trigger and all that kind of stuff that was out. For me, honestly, I think, Phil Spencer just needs to just do what he's been doing. They're on a roll right now. Everything's going good. Us as gamers should be thankful that we're getting a ton of new stuff all the time, and some of the old faithfuls as well, which I enjoy. I love Halos and Forzas and Gears and stuff. So I'm fine with it, man.
Oh, definitely. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, same here. I mean, like I said, you can look on it, one hand or the other hand. I mean, you see a lot of the games that are coming out and have come out now. I can come from the standpoint where I've always said that these games that come out, people ask for this at the beginning of this generation because if you remember GKB at the end of the 360's life cycle, the last 3 or 4 years, it was Halo, Call of Duty, Gears. You know what I'm saying? Like there was really no new IPs in the last 3 or 4 years of the 360 cycle. So the fact that they made that change, especially when Phil came aboard and started, putting out these new IPs, we need to go out and support these new IPs. I hear people saying, "Hey, why does this game get a sequel?" Well, God damn it, you need to go buy it.
But the other part of that,
we need to go.
The other part of that too is like a lot of people out there, maybe it's not even a lot, just like a small group of people are saying, hey, they need more variety. But then Microsoft will give you more variety, then you don't play the games, and then you'll start bitching about that and this, that, and the other. So it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation for Xbox. Like that's why I say just keep doing what you're doing, Phil. It's fine. It's a small group of people.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pose the same question to you, Jar. What do you think? Do you think Xbox needs more variety, or are they currently fine where they're at?
Honestly, I mean, realistically, you can never – there's nothing wrong with having more. But when you're getting already a ton and you just bitching just to bitch, that's where I have the problem. I think Xbox is doing a great job. I mean, there's so much they can do. I mean, they cannot go to Japan, put a gun to somebody's head, hey, make me a damn game. It doesn't work that way. And we can turn it around too. Well, does PlayStation need more variety? I mean, do they need more first-person shooters other than Call of Duty that are actually good? I mean, do they need RTSs? Do they need racers other than that 20-year-old fucking GT? So these people bitching, shut the fuck up. Enjoy what you have. I mean, and there's already a whole bunch of unannounced games. And it's one of those things, I'm sorry if I go on a bit of a rant, but once upon a time, people were actually bitching because Microsoft showed CG trailers of Quantum Break, Sunset Overdrive, and I think something else. Dust. Yeah. So people were bitching and moaning. Now, why isn't Microsoft doing? I want to know what they got coming 20 years. Come on, man. Like, again, I think they're doing a great job. God bless Phil. I'm sorry, man. I would have went all Dave Chappelle. I swear to God, because I swear to God, man, we are the worst consumers in the world. We have to be the worst consumers in the world. You know what I mean?
I think gamers as a whole, we're kind of.
It's just horrible. I mean, like, dude, like, okay, you want that, all these games that are not even coming out anytime soon for the PS4. You weren't about those. Well, then get a PS4. You don't even know what's coming down there's already enough coming down the pipeline. All you see on Twitter is, oh, man, my backlog. But yeah, you're bitching for more games? Come on, man.
Good point.
That's the other thing, too, is like, E3 is like right around the corner. Exactly. And I think Microsoft actually is going to have another like huge like gaming one like they did the year before last, where they showed like Scalebound and all these games. It was just like game. I think this year is going to be another one of those years where they're showing a ton of new stuff that we don't even know. It's really hard these days to like keep this stuff a secret, but Microsoft's been doing a pretty good job. Their stuff usually gets leaked like the day before the show, but over the next few months and when E3 happens, like who knows what they're going to show? Like that's the great part of it. Like I don't want to know right now. I got tons of stuff to play right now, and when that comes, then we'll all be happy again.
Definitely, and I completely agree. I mean, you're right. E3 is around the corner, and Jar made a good point. So many of us aren't even done playing the games that we have now. I do see a lot of people saying, talking about their backlog and things like that. So, I mean, if you think about variety, like I said, it depends on who you ask what variety means to them. If you mean JRPGs, then yeah, okay, they could use some variety. But if you mean anything else, then absolutely not. There's a lot that they've done. There's a lot of chances that they've taken. There's a lot of games that they've made, that probably wouldn't have been made on any other console. I mean, they've pretty much hit. If you think of the genres, they've pretty much hit. They pretty much touch on each genre. I mean, there's a couple that are kind of lackluster, but for the most part, they've done a great job at spreading out the games and
But
trying to do
honestly,
different things.
and I'm sorry to interrupt, Blam, but
Oh, you're fine.
honestly,
You good?
what the hell has Sony put out as far as JRPG? We got Final Fantasy, so I mean, what big hitter? Seriously, I'll wait.
I, I don't know.
Anybody,
I don't.
anybody,
I
please.
mean,
And if
Bloodborne
I'm
was.
wrong,
It's not
you know
really
what
a
I mean?
JRPG, I
Yeah,
guess. You
that
could
is
say.
not a.
Yeah.
That's just Dark Souls Junior.
it's just
That is. I don't give a
Souls,
fuck what
yeah.
anybody says. That's Dark. That was a beta to Dark Souls 3. Fuck
Yeah.
what anybody says. That's
Yeah.
the same game. So it doesn't. I mean, it's stupid. And
They
if
got-
I'm
I mean-
wrong, I'm wrong. But honestly, what the fuck has Sony put out as far as a real true JRPG? Seriously.
Yeah, I mean,
Anybody.
Sony has a lot of those niche titles over there that are like JRPGs, but really they don't sell a lot, so they don't come here, and that's the other factor too. And Phil Spencer, he wants like that in his repertoire of games, in his portfolio, if you will, as the Xbox head over there. Of course he wants that as JRPGs, but when it comes down to it, you have to look at the devs. It's not really a Microsoft thing; it's a developer thing. Like it costs
But
money.
see what you just said. But
Go
see
ahead.
what you just said, GKB. They sell there.
Yeah,
I'm talking about here, and the people that are here are the ones bitching and moaning. So they're worrying about a fucking title that's way over there. That's a fucking is not. I'm sorry. Like, shut the fuck up. All you see is.
I'm with you, bro.
I
I'm
think-
totally with you.
You know what I mean? It's annoying. K Mega put a fucking tweet. Man, I was rolling on the ground. Apparently, there's a fucking game for the PS4 that you just squirt water. On a
Yeah,
girl's
I saw
penis,
that.
man.
I
What
saw
the
that.
fuck?
I saw
That's
that.
the
I saw
that's
that.
the fucking shit people want.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, no, I mean it's just they called it the Splatoon killer.
Yeah.
It was. You know what the funny? I don't want to poke fun. There's a lot of people that enjoy those. Well, I don't want to say that type of specific title that you were talking about, but JRPGs as a whole.
I do.
I'm
a huge JRPG fan, dude. Like
Absolutely.
I'm all for it. I'm just trying to make a point that people, they're complaining, but it's like, okay, the console that you somewhat giving it credit, what the fuck do they have? Seriously.
Yeah. I don't know.
That-
Let's go ahead and get She Wolf in on this. We kind of been running away with this. She Wolf, let's go ahead and get your opinion, love.
Okay, well, first off, as everyone knows, JRPGs is Japanese role-playing game. Like, we're mainly American, so obviously, Japanese games are going to be in China, Japan and everything, where a lot of Sony developers and the creator of Sony is all from. So it's like, obviously that's where their focus is going to be, are the games that they like to play in that region.
Thank you.
Now, at the same time, though, a lot of people want to complain about the fact that there's not a lot of RPGs or JRPGs. The thing is, though, if you actually go into the store, there are free ones. Like there's, I think there's like Ami Girl. There's like, what is it? It's like Stranger of Sword or something. Like there are these games that people don't actually stop to go and look in the store for. They just want to complain and say that the games are not there. You actually have to go look, because we do have the variety of games. There's so many games that are in the Xbox store that don't actually get announced, that don't actually have the marketing rights, that don't have, the advertisement that a lot of, big hitter games have. And so these games get pushed to the side, and then people think that they're not there. And there's actually free to play JRPG games there on Xbox Store.
That's true. Good point. Good point. Yeah, She Wolf is right, and I want to kind of bring something to the forefront here that she just brought up, which is a great point. Sony, their home turf is Japan. That's where the company's based at. That's where that's where a lot of everybody who works there, well, not everybody, but everybody at the home base who works there is from Japan. For the most part. So that's the game that the type of games they have access to. These Japanese, they live next door. It's their ballpark. They're right there in the same region as all of these Japanese developers that make the type of games that these people want. It's not the same with Microsoft. Microsoft doesn't really have a huge presence over in Japan. I mean, you talk about 100 Xbox Ones being sold, last, I guess 6, 7, 8 months ago. Like, that's not much of a presence in that entire country.
Like, especially when you look at the games that are mainly announced anyways on Xbox, is shooters, racers, and that style games. But that's because that is the American culture game styles. That is the games that they know sell in this region of the earth. And Sony knows that JRPGs sell over in Japan and all that because that's the styles of games that they like. And let's be honest, how many gamers really in America obviously want to go and read subtitles, and it's all in Japan anyways. So, or Japanese, sorry. So half the time we don't understand what's going on and everything else like that anyway. So there's a lot of conflict on where people are kind of not really pulling apart the differences between these games and which system should actually carry or be more focused on this game style to begin with.
Good point. Good point. And so, my little bro, Mark, just showed up. Everybody just popped in here. So I want to go ahead and pose a question to him. I'm pretty sure he's been listening since we started the show. So the question was, Mark, does Xbox need more variety, or Microsoft Xbox, same thing, need more variety?
Can you guys hear me all right?
Pretty good. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Well, I personally think they do need a little bit more variety. I mean, they've got a good lineup, like with games like Scalebound, I think. But when I look at Sony's lineup, I think they've got a little bit more diversity. And She-Wolf is right that the shooters and the racers and all that sell a lot better. But I actually have some friends that would like to see some more JRPGs. Because personally, to me, I think games like Persona 5 and those look pretty cool. And I would like to see more story games from Microsoft, which I guess isn't really diversity in the genre. Just I would like to see more story-driven games, kind of like The Last of Us or Uncharted, something like that.
But those aren't JRPGs, though. That's the thing. Like, story-driven games
And
are
that's
not.
Quantum Break.
Yeah, I thought the
Quantum Break,
diversity
Alan
in
Wake.
games. I was talking about just diversity in general. Just like
Oh,
on
okay,
the
my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's cool. But I think we need a little bit more JRPGs, but I can see why we don't have that many. That they don't sell that well here. So, I mean, I think Scalebound is actually going to do pretty well because I think it might catch some people's interest because it's not like a lot of games that we see here in the U.S. So I think that will do well, Scalebound.
I'm afraid for that game. I'm super excited, but I think people are gonna try to kill it before the fucker comes out, just like Quantum Break. Quantum Break.
Yeah, I think Microsoft needs to advertise it very heavily if they want to do well. With it.
See,
put
I
Quantum
don't
Break up
agree with
against
that.
Sony.
I really don't think so. Scalebound is really going to have that much issue because of the fact that it is a Japanese style made game that I think it's going to have more support than what we actually know. Because okay, when you're looking at Sony fans, majority of them, even though they want to sit there and say they don't have an Xbox, I bet you most of them do actually have one sitting in their home. They just don't want to actually announce that they have one. They just want to stay focused saying that they only have, a PlayStation or whatever, which is fine. But I can still see a lot of them focusing on getting an Xbox or whatever just because of the style is the style that they've all been looking for and that they've been asking for on their own system and stuff like that. So I could see Scalebound having that, and because it has its own uniqueness.
I agree.
I hope so. I'm super excited. I'm in love with that game from the first day.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. It's just people are gonna find something to bitch about. Unfortunately that's what we look forward to, which is fucking sad, to be honest with you. Because like GKB said, E3's around the corner. Well, give or take, but it's coming soon.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely. So,
you know what I mean?
yeah, no, absolutely, and I think everybody makes great points here. Honestly, as far as the variety goes, I mean, they could use a couple different games in a couple different areas. I think they've done a lot. Like I said, if you really think about it, any of us that are a little bit older, that remember, it wasn't that long ago when the last 3 or 4 years of that 360, there wasn't really any new IPs or anything like that coming out. I mean, it was pretty much just the big three, and then we had some other multi-plats thrown in there. So the fact that they've done some of the things they've done, especially with Phil at the helm this generation, a lot of variety, a lot of new IPs. They've taken a lot of chances with games like Quantum Break and a smaller, not so big AA type game like Recore, which I hope gets a sequel and gets a bigger budget next time around. So they've done a lot of these things. They could improve upon some areas, but like you said, the need has to be there. I don't think Phil, he really does want, the JRPGs and all of those things. I mean, I remember him saying that, man, like I think 2 or 3, maybe like 2 E3s ago, he had mentioned that he was talking to the, I think his name was like Sakaguchi, the guy who did, I can't think of the series that he is. It's like a huge, super popular franchise over there in Japan. That they were. No, it wasn't Bayonetta. It was like a more of a classic JRPG.
Dragon Quest. He's the guy from.
Okay,
Dragon Quest,
yeah,
right?
Dragon Quest. Yeah. So
I played Dragon Quest. It's bomb.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. That's what I'm saying. He was having a conversation with. They've been friends for a while, and they were having a conversation, and he would love to have those kinds of games. It's just that it has to make sense for the entire brand. He's the head of Xbox, but at the end of the day, it has to make sense. Right now they don't have much of a presence there. Hopefully that'll turn around. So I can definitely see that turning around. Maybe if they get some more support, or if Scalebound ends up doing really well. It ends up being some type of sleeper hit or critical success. Maybe some other Japanese developer decided, you know what? Let's see if we can bring this game to the Xbox One and see how it will do. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. That was a great opener, though, everybody. So 2016 is coming to an end. It came around fast. It's almost the end of the year at this point. And I want to kind of go ahead and point our direction forward to 2017. So my next question is, what do you guys expect from gaming in 2017? We've had a lot of trends come and go. We've had a lot of new things, a lot of stuff fall off to the wayside. A lot of new games, things like that. But what do you guys expect from gaming in general in 2017? So I want to go ahead and start with She-Wolf on this one, since we kind of took over that topic there, that first topic for a little while. I'll start with you on this one, She-Wolf. So what do you expect from gaming in 2017? You expect a lot of the same trends, or you expect progress? What's your opinion on that?
Wow. Truthfully, I don't think much is going to change really over a year. There's so much that could go, but at the same time, it's really hard to answer this question personally for me, because if you're speaking about like the media bias and all that towards gaming, I don't think that's ever going to change. If you mean the direction that the systems are going in, I do think there's going to be some form of change there, because next year, we're looking at a lot more of the 4K. We're looking more at, the higher systems like Scorpio and whatever Sony decides that they want to throw out, if they decide to bring out another system to compete with the Scorpio or what. But there's so much diversity that could happen if they see. I don't know. In 1 year, I don't know. It's so hard to tell, because even just in this past year, we've had like the Slims and the Pros and the VRs, where the VR pretty much went nowhere. You don't even really hear a whole lot about that as much as we used to at the start. And so it's just, I don't think it's going to change a whole lot in 1 year. I think it's going to be, they're going to be focused on what they've been talking about at this end of the year and trying to actually complete it to get it to succeed throughout all of next year. So
okay, cool. Good point. All right. Mark, what about you, man? What do you think as far as 2017? You think a lot of the what do you expect from 2017 as far as in gaming?
I don't think a lot's going to change either. I think the interesting changes will be in the hardware that comes out in 2017. Like the Scorpio, I'm really excited to see what the specs will be. I mean, we know some of the stuff like the 6 teraflops, but I'd like to see some more in-depth stuff. Nintendo Switch, that's kind of exciting. I want to see I know they have shown kind of what the basics of it, but I want to know what kind of online infrastructure they're going to have and stuff like that. I think it's going to be kind of, I would say a lot of games are going to be coming out mostly, at least for Xbox, towards October, November, because I think they want to save a lot of stuff with Scorpio. Because I don't think, not the Xbox One had bad launch titles. They had good, but I think they really want to have some hit launch titles for the Scorpio.
2018 is going to be the bomb.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is true or not. I think didn't they almost confirm Crackdown to be kind of a launch title?
Yeah, that's a launch title.
For the Scorpio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
I think Halo Wars 2 is earlier in the year. I don't remember if there's a release date for that. Is there a release date for that?
I believe it's March.
Or something early, yeah.
February. It's February.
Yeah.
February.
17 or something.
I'm most excited for in 2017 is probably, well, if it's early 2017, I don't know why. I'm excited for that Fractured Butthole game. Okay.
Absolutely.
Ooh, that's going to be awesome.
And Scalebound.
That's coming out in March, though, which sucks.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be November, but I think it's smart that they pushed it to early 2017. I think they'll get a lot more sales because it's one of the only things coming out at that time.
Yeah.
They couldn't compete with Final Fantasy.
Right.
That's why part of the reason they moved it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was supposed to come out on December 6th with Dead Rising 4 and Final Fantasy 15, and that would have crushed it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
I
it would have
said
been like a Tomb Raider Fallout situation.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So, Jar, same question, brother. What do you think, man? What do you expect from gaming in 2017?
This is more like my little prediction / wishful thinking. I think we're gonna see big pushes on the technology side of it, that's the stuff that I really enjoy. On the back end, if people tend to forget, Microsoft has been doubling down. They've been investing a lot of money on technology. HoloLens, we all know about. People forget they bought Havoc. It's one of the main engines for physics. They picked up Beam, and I think cloud computing itself, the tech itself,
Yeah, CloudGen.
is
That's the company.
gonna be. I mean, the Azure, the cloud computing, like what Crackdown is gonna use. I think that's gonna be pushed harder because people, not to backtrack, but people asking, "Oh, JRPG." Let's be honest. 90% of the games is stuff online. That's what it's always online. That's what people want. That's what makes games money. Look at Call of Duty, Halos, whatever you want to call it, Gears, or the online portion is the moneymaker. So I think, at least on the Microsoft side, I'm not sure because Sony, we don't know what they're doing as far as, excuse me, as far as their network. But I think the technology itself, that's going to have a big push. I mean, that's my opinion, because Microsoft has invested heavily on the back end. And I think it was like a domino effect. The minute they bought Mojang, Minecraft, they just started gobbling up companies. I think they just bought LinkedIn. I mean, that has nothing to do with gaming, but I'm sure there's a master plan somewhere. Like they've been buying a lot of assets, and they have a real close relationship with AMD. So that's my thing. I think they're gonna just the technology side. That's gonna be pushed further. And like She-Wolf said, everybody, it's 4K. I'm sorry, we're already in the 4K area. That's what everybody's shooting for. That's what everybody wants. That's what everybody talks about. That takes a lot of power, especially online. Can you imagine playing Crackdown 4K, 60 frames a second online on a deathmatch, just blowing shit up? I mean, the tech
that's
behind
gonna be awesome. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
You know what I mean? So I think they're gonna double down on that. And of course, they do have games. I forget the lady's name. I follow her on Twitter. She said there was at least 14 games unannounced. 14 games that Microsoft just has on their back pocket.
Yeah, you got to send me that because I don't. That's a lot of games.
Yeah, it was actually it was an interview at E3. Swear to God.
You talking about Shannon Loftus?
Yeah, Shannon Loftus with her interview.
Yeah, she said it. She's like, yeah, we have like 14 unannounced games in development right now. That was at E3. So people have a short memory, which is part of the reason I go on my little rants when people talk about this diversity crap. We don't know what's coming. They're working on shit. People need to chill, and not to mention we don't have enough time to play what we have already.
Good point.
But back to to get on track again. Long story short, I think the tech itself, they're gonna double down on that, and that's the future, whether people want to admit it or not.
Yeah. Can I add something to what he said?
Yeah, sure.
I just want to ask. This is kind of off topic on the question, but I noticed he was talking about how they bought LinkedIn or whatever. I was just wondering, maybe I'm just ignorant. I don't know how many studios Microsoft truly owns, but if they're spending that much money, I think I'd like to see them buy some more studios so we have more first parties. Because I was looking at like a list of how many they have, and compared to Sony, they really don't have that many studios. And some of them are kind of small.
They don't, but which is true, but they have more IPs. And I think they learned from Lionhead. Lionhead was hemorrhaging money. I think for them, it's cheaper to do what they did with Recore. Just get a studio. Hey, build me this. What they're doing with Phantom Dust.
Yeah.
So I think that's their approach, which on the business, I'm with you. Trust me, I wish they had more studios, but on the business side, it makes more sense to just outsource it. Because that way they can, while they're outsourcing it, they're paying for development, they also give them tools to use from the Microsoft stockpile. So I think that's what they're doing, because Lionhead, man, it's 6 years. It's a lot of money to just dump, down the drain. And my prediction for E3, you heard it here first. They're gonna announce
a new Fable.
Yes, sir. They're gonna announce it. A real.
I heard that.
Fable.
I heard that from somebody. I heard that from somebody like 2
Yeah.
weeks ago on Twitter. That I can't remember who it was, but somebody said that. Yeah,
It's com-
definitely Fable
even
E3 or
even
something.
even if it's a CG trailer, which at this point, since that's what people want, apparently, I'll be happy. So they're gonna announce it. Watch.
That would be dope. So good point. Lots of good points made there. GKB.
Yo.
Last but not least, brother. Same question.
Yeah, so I don't know. I have a little bit of a different take. I think honestly, next year is going to be a transition year, if you will. We're going to see things like the Switch come out, and I think that's going to really push the mobile platform, even though it's kind of a console, but not really. It's like this hybrid thing. We're also going to see, Phil's alluded to, like going back to the HoloLens, what Jarhead was saying, he wants to see like a VR, AR kind of amalgamation thing where the screen goes opaque when you're in VR and then comes out like transition lenses and all that kind of stuff. Definitely, like when you think of Microsoft, they're really pushing the envelope with stuff, and as well as what I kind of agree with Jarhead too, as far as cloud computing and all that kind of stuff. Like I'm a network administrator for an IT company, and when it comes to the cloud, it's everywhere in networking. That's the thing right now, and it's moving into gaming, and I think we haven't seen as much of it because of the crackdown. Literally, they're building the tools that probably future devs and everybody
Yeah,
is going to be using.
they even bought that
Yep.
company, that CloudGen company, to help make the game, to help
Yeah.
with that portion of the game.
And
Yeah.
they're building everything from scratch, so other developers will reap the benefits of this. As soon as Crackdown comes out and everybody sees, what it can do and all that kind of stuff, I definitely think there's going to be a gearing up towards that kind of stuff from developers going forward. Yeah, and the tech with these iterations of consoles are going to help bridge the gap with PCs. They're not going to be on par with PCs or anything like that, but it's going to bridge the gap where you're going to start seeing some of those graphics that people see on PC come into the console, and all these other features and things that they can bring with that kind of power as well. That's always exciting. Excited to see like the new features that they've constantly always bringing out. That's going to be some fun stuff. So I think it's going to be really cool. I think a lot of stuff's going to get announced, but no final like plans or anything is going to be come to fruition yet. But it's definitely going to be a setup for the years to come, though.
Definitely. I think they're going to take more of a kind of like what Jar was saying or what GKB was saying, is that it's a transition. I mean, with Scorpio coming out, they definitely have to take time to introduce Scorpio the right way. They don't want to repeat of 2013. They don't want the messaging being confusing about Scorpio. So I really feel like they're going to take a lot of time to really be delicate with the way they present Scorpio. I don't know if we're going to see anything about it until E3. We may. I don't know. I think don't they have those developer conferences typically like earlier in the year before E3?
Yeah, they have like GDC and all that.
GDC. I don't know if we're going to see anything then. We may see something then. They may talk about it then. I'm not sure.
Microsoft's got like the build conference, then there's GDC.
Yeah, then there's GDC and things like that. So I don't know. We may see something. I mean, it is a brand new piece of tech, and those are tech type of conferences. So who knows? We may get tidbits. We may not actually see the console. We may see something or hear something a little bit earlier than that. But I think this is a huge transition year for them. PlayStation. Obviously, I think they're going to kind of stay the course. With the Pro coming out, I think they're going to, continue to push the VR. I don't know how well that's going to work out for them, but they still have things going. Nintendo also too with that Switch. Let's not forget, Nintendo. A lot of loyal fans, a lot of people that want to pick up that Switch just because it's a Nintendo console and it looks different. That may come out and blow the doors off everything. Who knows what happens? So. I definitely, for Xbox in particular, though, it's going to be a transition year. That Fable, though, I think that's a great prediction. Because I really feel like that'll be. I don't think they would have thrown that away. The assets for that game, the money that they put into that game, that's not something you just take and toss in the trash and say, we'll get back to this 3 or 4 or 5, 6 years from now, or we'll just can it and we won't even touch it ever again. It's too much of a storied franchise for it not to be. So I think they're going to do something with it. Who knows? Maybe it's this year, it could be next year, but it's a lot going on. But it'll be a great year next year. I can't wait till we get more information. So let's go ahead and move on to
seems like it's going to be the year of trial and error.
Yeah,
Don't say that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Let's get. This is kind of a fun topic. I like to throw in topics every now and then, and everybody in the chat, you guys. When I do these questions, they're for you guys too. So chime in the chat. Let us know what you guys think about some of the topics that I post to the panel here. So this next one I think is kind of fun. So sleeper hit games of 2017. There's always a game that comes out every year that ends up being a sleeper hit, whether it be critically successful or commercially successful, as far as in sales, or just everybody, all the critics, and it gets rave reviews and gets scored high, whatever the case may be. But I want everybody, just give me one sleeper hit of 2017 you guys think is going to be a big game. Any platform, doesn't matter what it is. We'll go ahead and start with you on this one, Mark.
Okay, well, I think everyone knows what I'm going to say. I'm gonna say Fractured Butthole. I mean, that one was successful the first time, so maybe I should have that one. But let me look here. Sea of Thieves. I'm excited. I'm hoping I get picked for that 1,000 people that get to play it or whatever.
Yeah, me too, man. You and everybody else here, dude.
Yeah, I think
Are
that
they gonna
one.
let people post videos on it? Or
I
no?
doubt it. It'll probably be under NDA.
Yeah, I'd say okay. What? And also, I think State of Decay 2 is gonna be really good.
He took my answer.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just should have said one. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
It's good, man. No biggie. But yeah, that's a good one, Mark. State of Decay 2. Always, for whatever reason, it's flying under the radar. I keep forgetting that game is coming out, man. Jesus Christ.
I forgot too until I just looked at the list.
Yeah, I think that may be the one, Mark. That may be the one, man. I think people are looking forward to that game.
I think it's going to get delayed.
Don't do that,
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think it's going to get delayed.
Yeah, as long as the co-op's good. I've been wanting that co-op for a while. For that
That's
game.
gonna be another game that the cloud computing is gonna come in, gents. You'll see.
Yeah.
Ladies,
I hope so.
sorry.
All right, well
that game is gonna use cloud computing.
Since She-Wolf chimed in, She-Wolf, it's on you, love. Sleeper hit of 2017.
Because the Switch is coming out, I think it's probably going to end up being Legend of Zelda.
Oh, good.
Their new game. I think
that's not a sleeper hit.
That's not a sleeper hit. Yeah.
I bet you everybody is going to love that game.
Of course, it's Zelda.
Everybody's already going nuts over it. That's not a sleeper hit.
It's supposed to be something everyone thinks will be bad and good.
Hell no, not Zelda. They could take.
But when he described the sleeper hit thingy, he said is going to get great scores and all this other crap.
I think it's gonna sell well too. I don't know. I mean, it's it's on you, man.
So when you're saying sleeper hit, you're referring we all think it may not be as good as what it's going to turn out to be?
I think
your answer's fine. If that's what you think, your answer's fine.
When I see sleeper hit, I think of a game that didn't get a lot of media attention, like Shadow of Mordor. Didn't get a lot of attention, and then got Game of the Year.
I hated that game.
Witcher 3 was that way too, though.
Witcher 3 had so much attention.
No, actually, think about it.
It didn't. It really didn't. It didn't get a lot of publicity.
Yeah.
Witcher 3 is
around its release date, it didn't actually have as much as what we hear about now that the game has been out and won Game of the Year and all that stuff. Right at the beginning, no, it didn't have as much publicity as what we really thought it did.
Yeah, a lot of that had to do with CD Projekt Red, though, because they really weren't talking about it. They wanted to keep everything hush-hush. So
yeah,
that was their biggest,
I remember talking.
That was their biggest project ever. It was a big deal for them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they made I think it's $1 billion franchise now off that game.
Oh,
that game's in fucking GTA territory. Well, not GTA territory, but I mean just it's getting up there as far as generating.
Speaking of GTA dollars, they're always a hit, and they release no information ever. Rockstar's so secretive about everything.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That Red Dead 2 also, by the way, we can't forget. It's not going to be a sleeper, obviously, but that's going to be huge too. Okay, all right. So, Jar, I know you've kind of chimed in a little bit here too. So, what do you think, brother? Oh, by the way, a couple of people, Jar, said they couldn't hear your mic. So, if you could, I don't know if it's closer to you or something. You're fine. You're fine.
Better? I'm sorry.
We can hear you fine. Just some people in the chat were saying that they couldn't hear you that well. So, just wanted to let you know.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're good. Go ahead, man.
I want to vote since State of Decay, of course, but I say Scalebound because as much as I'm excited for it, but the community is half and half on it because a lot of people are being a little bit skeptical. But I go back. I mean, I'm not trying to kill this dead horse, beat this dead horse, but Cloud, I think the co-op portion of it is gonna be a big push because apparently it's a 4-player co-op online.
It all
And I
depends
think-
if they do it right.
Right, and I completely agree with you. Absolutely, if it's like a co-op, an actual co-op, not no crazy deathmatch. But I think that game, that extra year of development, this for a reason. Phil did it for a reason. So it could be cross-play with PC, whatever you want to call it. That's my pick. Because the community seems to be 50-50 on it for whatever reason. I don't know. I think it's a much bigger game than we all think or have seen. I think it's going to be a lot bigger than what they have shown.
Okay,
I think
good point.
Outlast 2 is going to be a big one,
That's a good pick.
but not
That's
being
coming
like
next
it
year.
it's not getting as much attention.
But that's Outlast 2 is 2017.
That's because it's scary as hell.
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming out. Same with Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah, that's another game that
Both
may
of
come
those
out.
games are supposed to be coming out next.
pick.
I think it's second quarter. They're supposed to be releasing.
Interesting.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. All right, Governor, your shot, brother.
All right, so I got a couple like. So are we talking about like what media would think is a sleeper
just-
hit, or are we thinking about
what you-
gamers? Because
Yeah, what you would think was a sleeper hit?
well, I was just asking because if we're going like with media and that kind of thing, like it could be any potential Xbox game could be a sleeper hit. Like you never know. But as far as me, I think Halo Wars 2 could be a potential sleeper hit. I think when they showed off, the trailer for Atriox and the story behind it, because Halo Wars 1 was a really good game, a really good story, but it had like that niche cult following and stuff, and I could see a lot of that with Halo Wars 2. They're trying to make it a little more mainstream with the Blitz mode and all that kind of stuff, but Scalebound, State of Decay, even Crackdown 3 at this point, the last couple of Crackdowns haven't been the greatest, and Crackdown 3 could be that, thing that puts it up above everything else. So, yeah, there's a few out there, man.
Okay, good point. So for me, I'm going State of Decay 2, just for the simple fact that I really feel like that game. It was always a great game, but that co-op, and like Mark said earlier, that co-op was what it was missing. And I think if you were able to do that game, and I think the scale of that game is going to be a lot larger than most of us think. Also, too, I think the scale is going to be a big deal in that game. Also, too, I really feel like Microsoft is putting a lot of resources behind it, because that game could potentially be a really huge hit if it's done the right way. And I trust Undead Labs. They did a great job with the first one. But adding in some type of co-op, I don't know how online interactive it'll be if you could have some type of world where you're running around and there's 10 people in the same world, or I don't know how that's going to work, but hopefully, we get more details on that soon. But I think that's going to be the game that surprises a lot of people when we finally see some like true gameplay, and when the game actually drops. So I would say State of Decay 2, for me. So all right, so that was the last question that I had written down. So now is the time of the show where we typically like to just take questions from the chat. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and give us those questions. Put them in the chat. I will go ahead and pose those questions to the panel here. And by the way, while we're waiting on some questions to kind of populate GKB, let everybody know you guys doing a game night tonight, right?
That's usually She-Wolf's thing, but yeah, tonight 9:30.
Oh, well, She-Wolf. Yeah, whoever wants to do it.
I'll let She-Wolf take it away.
Why? You were doing just fine.
Okay, 9:30 tonight. We're gonna be playing Battlefield 1. Big shout out to Dark Optimus. He hooked us up with a game, and we let him choose the game this week. So we're gonna be playing some Battlefield.
Nice, awesome, cool. Some Battlefield 1 tonight. So they put on a great time, guys. So you guys all joined. So I guess I can make a couple announcements too. Why not do it here? So we got two big announcements. If you didn't catch my last video that I put up on my channel, by the way,
I saw it.
So there's two big announcements that I want to make. Of course you did. The first one being that I'm going to be doing a game night also too. We're going to be starting that up. It's not going to intertwine with the game night GKB and she will put on, but it'll be Friday nights. I haven't picked a specific time, probably about 7 or 7:30 on Friday nights. I figured that was a good day to do it. So what I'm going to be doing is putting up the putting up a poll on Thursday of whatever game we're going to play, and then whatever is picked on the poll, that's the game we're going to play on Friday. So, second big announcement: me and GKB have been talking behind the scenes about doing something together, and so I kind of want to formally announce that me and him are going to be doing a show. More than likely Thursdays, right, GKB? Are we still good? Yeah, Thursday. Okay, so I know we haven't really hammered down a specific time, but I'll get those details to you guys. So, it's going to be kind of a reverse Q&A. And I came up with this idea just thinking about Q&As in general, how, you guys typically ask us questions and we answer them. I kind of want to flip the script and ask you guys questions and have the subscribers and people watching kind of be the star of the show. So there'll be more things in there too. I'll speak with GKB about the details, but those are two big announcements that I wanted to formally make here. So you guys stay tuned. It's going to be some great content. Looks like we got some questions here. Did you see anything in there, She-Wolf, or anybody? Any good questions? I
like the
gotta kind of catch up here.
upgraded one.
Go ahead, just read it off. It off.
Do you guys think we'll see the Xbox controller further upgraded when the Scorpio releases? And that's from King James 1089.
Okay,
and
that's a good question.
I hope not. I don't want that. The Blu-ray one that they have is actually so nicely fitted. I hope they don't. I hope they update the Elite controller, possibly for the Scorpio. But
Yeah,
I think there's.
Go ahead, you. Sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. I'm done.
It's really hard. Like everybody, wants to see more improvements, but what else can they really improve on it? I mean, the controller is already fantastic. Like Game Informer even did like a couple months back, they did like the best controllers and did their like top 20 or whatever it was, and the top 4 were like Xbox ones. So I don't think they could do much better. The Duke one, that one kind of looks cool. I'm probably gonna pick that up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that too. Shout out Seamus Blackley, man. He's been pushing that Duke, man. It was a kind of a fan thing. A fan asked him about that, and he got such a huge response that he decided to actually go to Xbox and push for it. So I think it's going to be happening. Yeah.
I don't know how many improvements they can make to the Elite one, but I have seen. The only thing I can think of that they can improve, and I don't know if this is from them, but like I'm in some Facebook groups, like the IGN podcast groups and stuff, and I've seen a lot of people who said that their buttons have been sticking, or they have like controller sticks that like continually make them move, and they're having some durability issues with their Elite. And Microsoft has a pretty like bad warranty. I think it's like 90 days. I don't think it's like a year warranty. I think it's like a 90-day warranty. So I would like to maybe see some improvements to the durability, but that could be them just misusing it. I don't know.
Yeah, because that's kind of when people say that, you don't know what they've done with the controller. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to say. Yeah, because I don't know. I try and do the best I can, but I can't say that my daughter hasn't picked it up and thrown it across the room. So you know what I'm saying?
And you do have some people who are kind of like not all that great with their stuff, and then they just expect to get a new one if they complain enough about it. So.
Yeah, true.
I had mine since day one. Never had issues. My little guy has thrown it on the ground a few times. Works perfectly fine.
Yeah, they've been pretty durable. I haven't seen too many people complaining about the controller either falling apart or buttons. Every now and then, you'll see something about a joystick or something, kind of being a little loose or something like that. But I don't see too many issues or too many people complaining that their Xbox One controllers are faulty or falling apart or anything like that. So I don't really think there's anything that they can improve on. I mean,
I have one. I'm sorry if I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think maybe adding Bluetooth to it. That's about it.
Yeah.
Just to match what the new controller for the S, because that way
Bluetooth helps with latency and stuff too.
They also need to have it so you can actually change the triggers better instead of like only having 2 options.
Yeah, the 50% are full on. I much prefer, like you saw my video today, we did the holiday guide, and I put the SCUF controller in there, and I stated that as well. Like the trigger stops on the SCUFs are just so much better. You can just fine tune them to better suit your needs. And the Elite's only got like the 50% or full on, so I think they need a 75%.
Is that how far you push down on the trigger for it to?
Yeah, correct. Before it engage.
Before it triggers it. Okay.
Okay, cool, cool. All right, so that was a great question. Shout out to you, King James 1089. You're always in here rocking out with us. Appreciate you, brother. So I think there's a couple other ones here too. We're gonna go ahead and what's his name? It looks like Willis or Wills CZ. He said, "Where do you guys see the Halo 6 campaign going story wise?" I'm glad I don't have Xbot here. He'd be on this shit.
Oh.
Have another hour left in the podcast.
And he'll pull out the scroll.
Shout out to Xbot. Yeah, the scrolls and I found some information. Shout out to Xbot, man. We always fucking with him. He's a good guy. No, but seriously, what do you guys think?
I got
The campaign.
I mean, I play all the Halo games and their campaigns. I'm not going to act like I'm a campaign expert, though, so I don't really know. I think, I mean, obviously, Cortana is going to be a big thing in Halo 6, I would say, because she's kind of like, I mean, a villain now.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be interesting, seeing Cortana basically as a villain.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all I know.
I was going on like me and Brutal got into this on the console corner too. Like we were talking about like, you know, the Halos and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, you know, they were talking about like Halo Wars 2 and Atriox and, you know, where he came from in that storyline. And they want to move him into, you know, to be like kind of like the main villain in the main storyline of the Halo universe. And I was like, well, what if 6, like when Cortana, you know, disappeared with the Chief, what if they weren't really going to somewhere else, but what if they were going back in time to tie in with like Atriox and what was going on then? I thought that would be like a really cool premise to kind of like reboot with the whole like lock thing that people didn't like or whatever like that. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, you know what? I honestly, I'm
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good. I'm not. Shout out to Warrior Ward too, because I know he's huge into the Halo lore, and everybody out there that loves the Halo lore. I watch a few videos here and there, but I'm definitely not. I wouldn't call myself an expert at all. But you're right. I don't really see Locke being too significant in Halo 6. Maybe he'll make cameos here and there. I don't know if he'll even be playable. Because you know they're leaving, like Chief and Cortana are gone. Like wherever they're going, they're not even anywhere near what's going on. And I can't see Locke being. He's not a big enough character as of yet to hold up Halo 6 on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Unless something else crazy happens in the story or there's some left turn out of nowhere. I see this being definitely more about Chief, more about Cortana, and fleshing out that whole story and what's going to happen next. So
Well,
I don't know.
Chief has to fix Cortana because she
has
went
to
mad
fix it.
psycho crazy. So
Yeah. So I don't know. You know. Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe we can go with GKB was saying. You know, maybe they go back. You know, I'm not really.
Listen to the governor.
it would make sense because like like say if she has some weird the way that she was like going, everything kind of like is all about destruction and everything. So if by some chance she knew this was going to happen, because she is still an AI. So it's like, what if she did decide, like what GKB said, to take, you know, she was planning on going back in time to fix things, but, you know,
Exactly.
Chief got pulled into it, obviously, because he wasn't leaving
Everybody
her
come on
side.
the GKB train. It's
So
cool.
then, you know, if he's trying, because he's going to end up spending the time trying to fix her. Because let's be honest, like there's that whole love, whatever relationship they have between the two of them, that he's never going to let her go.
Yeah.
So he'll go
Man,
to the end trying to fix her.
If somebody at 343 is listening and GKB is right, somebody just punched the fuck out of their computer.
Yeah, like son of a.
Because he just ruined the whole fucking game. I mean, that's a cool concept.
It is.
I think that would be fucking awesome, honestly, because we can
too.
learn. Because Halo Wars always is about right before the attack started. That's like, you know, what started everything. And with this dude Atrax, man, this motherfucker's badass. He's like, you know, it'd be cool to see, but I think they're just gonna probably continue. I don't think Locke is yet gone. I thought the story was fine, despite what some of these, you know, stuck-up so-called reviewers, you know, wanted to, you know, dissect the story. I thought it was decent. It's a sci-fi story. It's fucking Halo. I don't think he's gonna be gone, but I think they're gonna focus more on the Chief and Cortana. But Locke, he's still gonna be around. He has to.
The only
because the
reason
rest of the team.
The only reason I was saying like, it could be like a time travel kind of thing is because like in Halo Wars 2, they're even talking about like, a lot of the main stuff is going to be like AI rampancy and stuff, which what happened to Cortana and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. I just was piecing a whole bunch of things together. It's complete.
No, I mean, hey,
nonsense,
you never
really.
know. And that rampancy thing is huge too, because maybe Cortana like foresaw that this was going to happen to her. You know what I'm saying? At some point, and maybe put some type of failsafe, in place. Where there was some type of contingency plan.
I
That
really
she
think
would do
I
something.
think that concept is awesome. That's what I'm
Yeah.
serious. Somebody at 343 just kicked over their computer, pissed off.
Or you
Or
can come
they're
hire
like,
GKB.
or they're like, hey, shit, that sounds better than what we were thinking about doing.
Get GKB on board over here.
Hey,
Then
send them your PayPal account information. Like, okay,
Yeah,
you're
send that
welcome.
man a check, brother.
You're welcome.
Yeah, for sure. No, good point though. That was a great question, by the way. That was a great question. So, I think we got time to take maybe one more, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show. So, anybody else, or you guys see any other questions here?
There's one about a new Age of Empires in development, and then one about Marvel versus Capcom and getting it backwards compatible.
I don't know much about Age of Empires, honestly.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know much about I played Marvel vs. Capcom, but I don't know. It's like, should Phil push for Marvel vs. Capcom 2 backwards compatible and shove it in Sony's face?
They can't do it. They can't do it. Disney owns the license for Marvel. Disney has more money than God. They're not. I mean, Microsoft can pay it, but I don't think they want to just throw the damn bank just for a backwards compatible game. But I think because of licensing, I think that's why it's probably not gonna come. If it does, that'd be fucking awesome.
I don't think it's
the
gonna
last
come.
game on the 360 was good, but I don't think that it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean they're remastering that the Ultimate or Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Ultimate or whatever it was. They're remastering that. That's coming out. It's already out now on the PS4, coming next year on the Xbox.
Right, and we
PC,
don't know,
so.
and we don't know what kind of deal Sony has. Sony part of their deal could be blocking the backwards compatible. Just because it's business. It is what it is.
Yeah. No, good point. Good point. I'd love to see it, but you're right. I mean, like you said, that remaster's coming down the pipeline, and then Disney and then Sony having that deal. You don't know the details of the deal, so that could be a huge hurdle for Microsoft. I don't really think it's that big of a deal anyway. So it's a multi-plat, so it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. I just wish it looked like Street Fighter 5.
Yeah. That's true. All right, so that was a good question. So I think everybody, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. You guys know I like to keep everything as close as possible. But it was a great show today. I appreciate everybody coming out, rocking out with us, man. We had some really, really great topics here. We're going to go ahead and wrap everything up, though. So I'm going to let everybody go around the panel. Let everybody know where they can find them. We'll start with you, Jar. Let everybody know where they can find you, brother.
You can find me on Twitter, Jarhead2001. That's my Twitter handle, the same as my gamer tag on Xbox. Hit me up. I'm usually late at night, usually when I put the little one down. But if you hit me up, I'll join. I'll accept. You just want to talk shit, I'm down. We could talk sports, games, whatever. I have a little Facebook page, Ronin Agents. Again, all I do is just post news. Other than that, game on.
For sure. All right, and then my little bro who jumped in here a little bit late, Mark. Go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you, Mark.
You guys can find me on Twitter at MarkB567, and you can find my gamer tag on there. It's Merc Circuit, but the spelling's a little hard. So if you want to find my gamer tag, just visit MarkB567, and just hit me up on Xbox. I love to join parties and talk to people and play with people. So yeah, if you ever just want a friend to play with or talk to, just hit me up.
For sure. Cool. And the She-Wolf, the official secretary for everybody on Twitter. Go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you, love.
Well, I don't know about lately about that, but I'm hoping anyways to start getting back into actually, getting everyone back up to date on podcasts and stuff like that now that things are kind of starting to get figured out with our YouTube channel and everything. So, but other than that, you can find me on the Gamers Knows Best YouTube channel with GKB, where we do all sorts of different videos. And we also have a gaming awards coming up for December 27th. So make sure you get your votes in for your picks, because this is from gamers for gamers. And of course, everybody who are actually on for upcoming YouTuber and all that, the ones in the community are actually going to get a trophy if they win. So there's that fun factor in there as well. And so, yeah, so make sure you vote and get your games in that you think deserve to win this year. And you can find me on Xbox and Twitter at XSheWolf, X with a U, not an O.
Nice, nice. I think we should give somebody like a lifetime achievement award. I can see Crap getting a lifetime achievement award. It should be so hilarious. Shout out Crap, man. But go ahead, Governor. Who needs no introduction? I don't know why we even do these for you, GKB.
I don't know, man. I enjoy it, but hey, what's up, everybody? It's GKB. Yeah, like She-Wolf said, just to reiterate, like the video game awards, we're doing some cool stuff. Also, stay tuned for a channel update. Like there is a bazillion things we're going to be doing and hitting hard next year. We're excited, and I hope everybody else gets really excited about what we're doing and bringing to you guys. We can't wait to share it with you. So hopefully in a week and a half or two, we'll have that video out so you can all see what we're going to be doing. We're really excited.
For sure.
Stay tuned.
Okay, and I kind of want to piggyback on something, and this is more so to GKB and She-Wolf. I just want everybody in the gaming community to know that these two people are awesome. So you guys subscribe to them if you have not already. I've seen them grow since they, not since they started, but since we
Pretty
first
much.
met.
We were a baby. We started with you.
Yeah, January 100 subs, and now we're
Yeah, and it's awesome, and I think they're the shining example of great gamers who do things for the community. They don't ask for anything in return. They just do. They put out great content, and they're really humble. And so I want to kind of give them that shout out too. As kind of the year is kind of winding down. They're just awesome, everybody. You guys follow them. Just make sure you support everything that they do. This video game awards coming up. It's huge. It's for us. And they took the time out to put this together. So they're awesome, everybody. Just follow them. Just, do whatever.
Thanks,
No problem. So, so I'm Blam, the host with the most, as you guys know. PTK Blam across the board on Xbox Live if you want to play games. Follow me on Twitter, PTK Blam. Also, subscribe to the YouTube. I'm almost at 1,000 subs, everybody. 39. Yeah, 39
We'll get there.
away.
I'm going to tweet that.
Go
girl,
sub!
So yeah, I'm almost there, everybody, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I hit 1,000.
I'm gonna Twitter bag right now.
Twitter bag. So yeah. So I don't know what I'm gonna do when I hit 1,000, everybody. I'll figure that out as I get. I'm pretty much as close as you can get, but I need to figure it out really quick. I may do some type of giveaway or something like that once I hit 1,000. So stay tuned. I'm hoping to hit that before the end of this year. So we'll do something nice. So, you guys appreciate the support here on the channel, man. You guys have a great evening. We are out of here. Thank you guys for coming out. You guys take it easy.
Peace.
Laters.